Hello, everyone, and welcome to Virtual Road America for round one of the 2025 Season 1 Indianapolis Open Top Split. Mark Murphy here, joined as always by Kyle Clinworth for the duration of the season. Clindy, it's good to be here. It's good to be broadcasting a race with my good buddy, and it's good to be at one of my favorite tracks, beautiful Road America in Wisconsin.
And we got 4 miles of forestry for our competitors to blaze their way through, maybe chop down a couple trees off of Canada Corner. Looking at about a 15-lap run here. It should be an easy one-stop race, splitting the race somewhere between the 15-lap marker or the 8-lap marker, depending on if they start on the primary or the soft tire. So the soft tire being the red tire and the primary tire being the black tire. The main point of strategy in this race will be whether or not you start on the reds or finish on the reds. If I remember correctly from the Indianapolis or the Indy Open IIS series last season, the reds are good for 6 laps, 6 fast laps. So running 8 laps on the reds is probably the fastest way, which means you'll need to stretch a little fuel to get to that 15-lap marker on your black tires.
Absolutely, and what a blast this track is! Just a little over 4 miles. Cut into the forest in Wisconsin. It is termed the American Spa, and our lap around here is absolutely amazing. You blast up the hill, down the main straightaway. You crest that hill right at pit exit, and head for the fast sweeping right-hander at turn number 1 down to 3rd or 4th gear, as the case may be. A quick flick left through a straight turn that drives Clindy absolutely nuts. That's turn 2. Down to a sharp right-hander, turn number 3, and then you start plunging down the hill. There's another right-hand kink. Down the moraine, sweep, and then hard on the brakes to a 1st or 2nd gear at turn 5. Short burst up the hill to turn 6. You're going to take a quick flick to the right at turn 7 and go back down the hill toward Hurry Downs. This is where I sat and watched AJ Allmendinger beat Sebastian Bourdais at Road America in 2005, I believe. It's another quick left-hander, and then we head for the carousel, probably the most famous corner on the track. It is over 180 degrees of right-hand corner, very flat, very fast, 3rd to 4th gear, down through the bend, and then you hit the kink. And when you arrive at the kink, you are doing 170 miles an hour. The car will get very loose as you kind of touch the curb. You go through Kettle Bottoms, long straight to Canada Corner, and as Clindy said, that is the best passing spot on the race course. Turn 12, down to 1st or 2nd gear, as the case may be. Right-hander, best chance to pass, push to pass, in effect, all through Kettle Bottoms, up through Thunder Valley, the Bill Mitchell Bend at 13, and then a quick right-hander, long, slow sweeper, 2nd gear, and then charge back up the hill. That's a lap of Road America. A good time here, Clindy, what, minute 40, would you say?
A minute 40 is pole speed. In the race trim, you might be looking at like a 141 flat, I'd say. That's like a really fast lap on reds with low fuel.
Yeah, it's we're looking at the times right now, and we'll go ahead and put up the board for everybody to see. Right now, we've got Luis Nunez on the pole, 1 minute 40, 8:97. Alex Van de Zandt provisionally outside pole, 141.086. Fernandez Morales is 3rd, 141.134. Kevin Burrell, the old pro, the general, 141.449. My teammate Seb Alexander, 5th. AJ Musselman, 6th. Rachel Conkley, 7th. Logan Edwards, 8th. Alan Brousseau, 9th. Logan Spath is going to round out your top 10. And we've got some serious bidders sitting on pit road yet. Nicholas Sudik, Jacob Oster, Philip Kraus, Adam Blocker. All of those cars remain on pit lane, awaiting their turn to qualify. It is a longer qualifying session here. You get 8 minutes. We've got a couple of minutes left, Clindy. And while we do that, let's kind of talk about the history of this fine speedway. So it was built. It is an FIA Grade 2 circuit, so just below the level needed to host Formula One. It is actually closer to Plymouth, Wisconsin, than it is Elkhart Lake. So if you're ever at the Speedway and you need supplies, you will be getting those in Plymouth. Elkhart Lake is very, very tiny. There is essentially no seating capacity here, which is fun.
Unlimited, no limit. It has unlimited seating capacity.
That is very true. And if you've ever been here for an IndyCar race, you will understand the meaning of unlimited, because the hillsides, the forests, all the prime viewing areas are most assuredly full. It was built in 1955. It's been around a long, long time, and pretty much everybody who's anybody in American open wheel racing has won here. It has hosted NASCAR races. The track record is owned by, the outright track record is owned by Alex Zanardi. 1 minute 41.874 in a Reynard 98i. That was in the 1998 Road America 200. The INDYCAR track record, Will Power, 2023, minute 42.892. So we are under Will Power's record. Sebastian Bourdais has the Champ Car record at a minute 44.133. And then we go all the way down to Gary Godsoe's favorite cars to race here. That would be the NASCAR Xfinity Series, 2 minutes 12.408. Justin Allgaier, 2023. The Cup cars here are actually slower than the Xfinity machines. William Byron in 2021 lapped Road America in a Cup machine, 2 minutes 14 seconds 089. So that's a bit of history around Road America. There is a motorcycle course here. They do not use the kink. So as you see the cars blast down the blast toward the kink, you'll see a little cutoff where there's a left and a slow right-hander. It's the bend, absolutely, and that's what the motorcycles use. Josh Herron on a Ducati last year lapped here in a Superbike at 2 minutes 9 seconds 25. So yes, a motorcycle is faster than a stock car here at Road America, even with one much slower corner. They currently do run. They currently do run Indy cars here. There's SECA races, IMSA. The runoffs are here for SECA this year, and there have been formerly NASCAR races and all sorts of different events. But Clindy, qualifying is over.
Yeah, and we've got a surprise pole sitter. Hildegard knocked off Moore with just about 30 seconds left in the session, putting down a screamer, a 1:40.704, to start your race on the real pole, no longer the provisional pole.
Absolutely. Row 2 is going to be Row 2 is going to be Luis Nunez and Philip Kraus. Alex Van der Zandt and Edu Fernandez Morales will make up Row 3. Adam Blocker, he's going to start 7th inside of Kevin Burrell, and 8th, Jacob Oster and Sebastian Alexander. Seb Alexander, my guy, they'll round out the top 10. In 11th, AJ Musselman, he's flanked by Blaze Aldrich. Rachel Conkley is 13th. Logan Edwards, 14th. Alan Brito, 15th. Logan Spath, 16th. Matt Taylor, 17th. Jacob Collins, little rogue racing action in here today. Clindy, he's going to go 18th. Caleb Brashear, 19th. Luke Carbonu is going to be 20th. Starting 21st is Thomas Van Kurt. 22nd, Victor Odd, and shotgun on the field, Nick Sudik. That's your starting lineup here today at Road America.
Keep your eye on Sudik. I don't expect him to stay at the back for very long. And there are some people in this race that have significant and substantial pace. This is a proverbial who's who of the IndyCar community. Keep your eye on Philip Kraus. He's currently a Pro Series license holder. He raced here in the Pro Series against Max Verstappen's team Redline. Luis Nunez, very, very fast. He went out and played with them in Velocity Online Racing at Belle Isle just 2 weeks ago. And Hildegard, best of them all in qualifying. I've never seen him on track. Same with Nathan Moore, and they're our front row. So hopefully they put on a show, and the contenders behind them can keep up and put some moves down into turn 5. Two things that separate or change virtual Road America from real life Road America is the pavement age. Road America was just recently repaved last season, so it's got brand new blacktop. And this season, new on iRacing, we now have marbles. So in turn 5, previously you could go as wide to the right as you would like to make a pass, but now there will be marbles accumulating there, and I would say that will be no man's land for the majority of this race.
Absolutely. So awesome, Adam Hartzell, to be back, to be on the air on Monday nights. Do want to give a shout out. We would be remiss if we did not pay tribute to Arjuna and his crew at RaceSpot. We're not here to replace them. I do anticipate at some point they will come back and do these races. But until then, Clindy and I are happy to bring it to you. Just two racers that enjoy watching a good race and enjoy calling it. So Glad to be here, Adam, and thank you for watching. We do have a lot of people who are currently tuned into the broadcast. And while we go on the longest parade lap in iRacing, which is the full parade lap here at Road America, would love to thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, ring the bell to subscribe. And we are doing this gratis, and so there is a GoFundMe in the link below in the description. If you feel like you would like to throw us a little bit of spare coin, that would be tremendous of you as well. I know times are tough, but every little bit helps. Every little bit helps, and so we do appreciate that. Watching Christian Hilgard and Nathan Moore lead the field around. It is over 4 miles around here, Clindy, and it is so doggone long on this parade lap.
Well, another thing to sort out from the running order here is that the pole position and the third place, Hilgard and Nunez are both on the same team despite having different colors on their car. They're both on a new IndyCar team. It's fiercely forward. So they will be able to work together here and maybe coordinate this start and do a little bit of teammate rope-a-dope on that outside lane.
Absolutely. We do have different teams in play here. Of course, Phil Kraus of Hyperslide fame. Alex Van de Zand on that team, as is Adam Blocker. You got Jacob Oster here representing I5G. Seb Alexander, my team, Indy Alliance Racing. They're all here. Rogue Racing, Jacob Collins, and there's a good mix between reds and blacks here. Christian Hilgard is going to go off on reds. Nathan Moore has chosen the blacks. Nathan Moore is not a guy that we see a whole lot in these broadcasts, but he has an 85-28 I rating, and so good to see the pros coming out here. Nunez is going to be on reds with Hilgard. Phil Kraus and Van de Zand are both on the blacks. And Morales, Edu Fernandez Morales, he's going to go on reds. He will be the sixth place starter. And what do you think about the tire choice here, Clindy? About how far can they go on those reds, you think, before they fall off?
Could probably run 10 laps before they're glacially slow. But I'd say the first 6 are blazing fast. 7 and 8 will be about the same as the blacks. And then from there on out, you're just going to be losing pace to anyone on the primary or the black tire. That's my guess, but you could maybe twist and tweak your setup to be better on the black tires for longer, or the red tires for longer, or your driving style. You could just back them down and make them last an extra lap or two.
Absolutely. Queuing up toward Canada Corner now. The longest pace lap in iRacing continues. Taking a look at Logan Edwards there as he gets ready to roll from the 14th spot. And there's Jacob Collins. As we get ready to go here, I will put it back on the leaders. We do, Maddie Sinclair, look forward to much more top analysis from Kyle Worth as the season rolls on. But for right now, the green flag is out. They're going to go up the hill. Christian Hilgard has them under control. The green flag is out, in season 2025. Number 1 is underway.
Nothing like the start of a new season. Let's see how this first corner treats our competitors. Phil Kraus to the outside. Ducking back the line, single file for turn 2.
Everybody made it through turn 1 cleanly. Seb Alexander coming under attack. That's Blaze Aldrich and AJ Musselman behind him. Seb takes a little bit of a wide corner. He's going to block Blaze Alexander, but that's going to open the door for AJ Musselman to grab a spot. Musselman is looking like he's going to go to 10th, and Blaze might look like he wants to throw it 3 wide here.
Alexander benefits from the side-by-side draft in front from Oster and the other fiercely forward car. Through turn 5 without any chaos. Well done by this stacked field of iRacers.
Absolutely. Alex Van de Zand a little bit off in the Toolies. That's going to let Edu Fernandez Morales by, as well as Kevin Burrell. He's now under attack from Jacob Oster. They're battling hard now here. That's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th we're watching. These guys are after it. Now, something that we would have anticipated, Clindy. The guys on blacks are kind of sliding a little bit toward the back. The guys on the reds are going toward the front. Christian Hilgard has already pulled out to a 0.3 of a second lead over Luis Nunez, and they have cleared Nathan Moore and Phil Kraus by over a second. We're watching Morales get by Adam Blocker there, and that is not an easy man to pass.
Yeah, I'd expect these red tires to maybe get out to 4 or 5 seconds overall over the course of a run, and then for all of that to come back as the blacks equalize or have better pace later in the run.
Absolutely. So as Clindy said, we're gonna see 6 real heaters from Hildegard, Nunez, and those on the reds, and then they're gonna start to fall back. What kind of fuel economy can we expect as we watch Morales head down toward turn 1?
Yeah, at this pace, I would say that they're lucky to go 14 laps. They're not going to stretch their red tires that far, so they don't care how much fuel they burn here. One thing I like about the opposite strategy is that when you put on your red tires, you have an empty or partially empty fuel tank to get you to the end of the race, because you won't need all of the capacity to get you home to the finish. Nunez is dogging Hildegard at the front.
Yes, he
Teammates
is.
for now, but, don't wreck him, but race him hard.
Let's go back to the battle for the lead. Appears as though Christian Hildegard might be having a little bit of a connection issue. There's some sort of an issue for the cars going through turn number 5 there. A little bit low, maybe on low pressures. There's the battle for the lead. That is Christian Hildegard leading. Luis Nunez is second. One of the things that you'll notice, fans, on our new overlay, when the drivers go on their 200 seconds of push to pass, and they can control it, it is an on and off switch now. It is no longer the limited number of pushes as in past years. The screen will light up, and so it'll tell you exactly how much they have left. One of the things we didn't get into, Clindy, is we did not get into the weather. It is a picturesque day here in Wisconsin. 65 air, 86 track, 86% humidity. Very little wind, sunny and clear. What a gorgeous day for a motor race.
I don't know what wind meter you're looking at, Murph, but I'm seeing winds to the southeast at 21 miles an hour. That's 10% of the speed of these cars. So in some corners, they're going to have 10% more downforce, and some of them will have 10% less.
Maybe my wind meter's broken, Clindy. We'll have Gary look at that. Meanwhile, Luis Nunez is all over the back of Christian Hildegard, and Hildegard is going to go on P2P. Luis Nunez lights it up to respond. These guys are not being shy about that. Christian Hildegard has already gone through almost 40 seconds of his push to pass here in the first couple of laps.
Yeah, I'd expect a lot of drivers to use it while they're on the red tire to maximize the lap time that they can put down on the red tire.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at another one of our new toys. This is the telemetry from the Christian Hildegard machine. You can see him working through the gears, second gear there, going through on the throttle, coming down toward the carousel. He's going to hit third gear, now fourth. Arc it out a little bit, bring it back down toward the rumble strips, and then hit that little concrete strip. You don't want to hit the curbs there, but you do want to hit the concrete strip, and then hard on the gas down toward Canada Corner. This the best passing spot on the track, but Hildegard all over the push to pass in an effort to keep Nunez behind him, Clindy.
Bill Kraus coming over the radio asking the leaders to stop littering. Something also new from this update, included with the marbles, is track debris. If you put your tires off in the dirt, off in the grass, or off in the gravel, you'll track some of that back onto the racing surface with you. And it takes 2 or 3 cars to blow it off the racetrack. It is slower, you have less grip when that type of detritus is on the racing surface, and you've got to be very careful. It's very much like racing on ice.
It very much is. If anybody out there has driven through a gravel trap in the sim and you cannot turn, that's what that feels like. It's very unnerving. I have not yet experienced it on an oval. Both of the oval league races I've done in week 13 or week 14 as it was did not feature the marbles. But I think you and I are going to get a taste of that tonight in Mike Rigney's ISRA race.
Perhaps. I think Legacy Kentucky allows for a lot of racing in the High Line, and my testing in Iowa shows that as long as the High Line is being used, marbles will not accumulate.
And I'm sure at Iowa it absolutely will be used, and I guarantee you at Kentucky it will be, probably by you. Anyway, Kraus was on the radio asking for people not to litter, but he has also done some debris of the racing surface. Every time the cars drop off, you can see the dirt fly up, and that does land on the track, and that's exactly what Clindy's talking about.
Yeah, those who live in see-through cockpits shouldn't be throwing stones, right?
Very, very, very good. We're going to go back and look at Alex Van de Zandt. He is racing with good friend Jacob Oster. This is 8th and 9th right here. Oster in 8th. That's Van de Zandt in 9th. Both of those cars on the blacks. They've got Adam Blocker directly in front of them, and this is the closest battle on the course. We did mention Nick Sudik earlier. Nick did not set a qualifying time. He started last. He is on the blacks, and he has caught Blaze Aldrich, who has fallen to the back after being up in that battle for the top 10. But there's Nick. He is 19th. He's working on Aldrich for 18th.
He's your biggest mover. He's up 5 spots. Jacob Collins up 2 spots. Logan Edwards up 4 spots from 14th to 10th. Give a shout there to the number 19.
Let's give a shout to Jacob Collins and the plain white wrapper. Don't you guys pay him enough to get him some paint on that thing?
Well, because it was a plain white wrapper, Shane Coker from the Votive Racing League put the Votive stickers on there. The stickers were white, so we thought the shoe fit.
Very much so. Jacob Collins, well known throughout our community, is running a very, very plain white machine, kind of the Hesketh look. But he's currently 16th. Good job for a guy who is not noted to be a I don't want to say a top drawer road racer, but certainly not one that you would immediately think of. So a wonderful job for Jacob Collins to be in this race. And let's go take a look at Logan Edwards. He's 10th. He's on the Reds. You mentioned that he had charged up. He's got that battle between Van de Zandt and Oster right in front of him. But I suspect that Logan's tires are going to start to kind of give up here within the next lap or two. We're 5 laps deep, and he's on the Reds. He might start to fall backward here.
Yeah, Occam's razor. Never attribute something to skill that could just be chance.
Gonna go back up to third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That is Nathan Moore up there in the distance. He leads Phil Kraus. Both those cars on the black tires. And then you've got a pair of red runners. Edu Fernandez-Morales is 5th and Kevin Burrell 6th. They are about 2 seconds ahead of, and you can kind of see them in the background there. They're a couple of seconds ahead of the blocker Oster Van de Zandt train as it is now. The times for the leaders have fallen into the 144 bracket. 144.270 for Hildegard, 44.279 as Kraus gets by Nathan Moore going down into, what is that, turn 5 there, Clindy?
Turn 5. This will be the beginning of the end for the
Whoa,
first quarter.
Phil!
Oh, Kraus! What a save! There through turn 6. That part of the track always comes out and bites drivers. It is off camber, uphill, and blind. The 3 things racing drivers hate. You got to trust your gut, and Phil Kraus used it to save his race car as he's trying to track down the leaders.
Absolutely, and I think we've come upon the point now where the tires are starting to cross over. Phil Kraus was just about even Steven with Christian Hildegard that last time by, about half a second a lap difference. It had been over a second a lap. But you see the butt kicker, logo on the back of that Hyperslide car there, Clindy.
Well, they paid the community a large sum of money to title our Pro Series, did they not?
They most certainly did, and that is the mark of the man who I believe finished second in that series, was he not?
Yeah, he took the second most amount of butt kicker money, and he's a community regular. So every week I tuned in and did a little "Go Phil Kraus" chant every time he made a move, which was often. And right now he's making a move in your Monday Open top split, running 0.3 of a second faster than Luis Nunez and 0.2 of a second faster than our leader. I think he'll be knocking on their rear attenuators here shortly. The gap's down to 3.3, and it's only going to get smaller.
Let's go on board with Phil. Private label team hype on the car, of course. Member of that Hyperslide Alliance. 4th gear, headed down, getting ready to go down the hill. And just watch how smooth he is. No wasted motion, no wasted effort. Straight to the apex, straight back on the gas. This is the corner that almost caught him out earlier. No dramas this time. Turn 8. Toward the carousel.
Kraus must be... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Kraus must be loving what he sees ahead of him. The teammates have been in each other's mirrors this entire race. I think Nunez might actually go off strategy, either over or undercut Hildegard by 1 lap in order to be on a different tire just for a shorter amount of time or earlier. to try to jump in front of him or use the overcut to great excess.
Well, and we do want to point out as we continue to watch Phil Kraus. Let's go back to the leaders here, Christian Hildegard and Luis Nunez. Of course, they are teammates. Other members of that squad, Kevin Burrell, Hamilton Akabuezi is also in that team. Hamilton not here tonight, but community regular, of course. The times have started to cross over, though. Phil Kraus, last time by 1:44.327. Hildegard, 1:44.380. So Phil is now equalized with his cohorts. The difference is that Christian and Luis, they're about 3 seconds up the road, 2.7, between 2.7 and 3 seconds up the road. But Phil on the push to pass, and that's something that he's got a lot more of than both Christian and Hildegard. Hildegard's down to 70 seconds, Clindy.
Hey man, you've only got 23 laps. That's about 10 seconds a lap, maybe like 8 seconds, but use them when you're on your reds, get out to a big lead, and that way it's easier to defend at the end than rather to be on offense. Good defense wins championships and races.
That is very true. Now, you do have to wonder if that's going to hurt him later when he's going to be on the blacks facing a charging Phil Kraus. And he might want some of that push to pass to hold Phil off. Phil, 152 seconds. And let's give a shout out to Edu Fernandez Morales. Not a name that we're accustomed to seeing in these races. This might be his debut on one of our broadcasts. He has not yet touched the button. Still all 200 seconds left for the man that runs sixth on the reds. He's got the general, Kevin Burrell, right in front of him, who is fifth. Nathan
Perhaps
Moore.
Mr. Morales neglected to map the push-to-pass button to his wheel prior to the race. I have done that before. It definitely does not feel good.
Is there a keyboard shortcut for that, Clindy?
I don't think it's mapped
Ooh.
automatically. In iRacing, I think you have to assign it a key.
Indeed. Going to go back here. Let's look at Alan Berteau. He's battling AJ Musselman for 14th and 15th. This is one of the closest races on the track. We have lost Caleb Brashear and Matt Taylor from the lead train. They are 22nd and 23rd. And they have already stopped. So troubles for Brashear and Taylor. The window, though, Clindy, the window is about to be open, and pit road, my guess, is about to be a busy place.
Yep, you'll see anyone who's tired of their red tires and feels that they are no longer fast and instead are goopy and droopy, dive to the right to do the backwards pit lane here at Road America. And they'll pop on new blacks and fill up with just enough gas to get to the finish.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to ask her if their reds are goofy and droopy. Are their cars being pitted by the Seven Dwarves?
Yeah, you've got Grumpy and Sleepy and all sorts of other guys on the mechanic crew for each of these teams.
Very good. I would expect one of these top two to peel in here. I think Nunez is probably going to do the opposite of whatever Hildegard does, unless they both want to come together and try to maintain a jam car between themselves and Phil.
Yeah, and this is where being a good teammate might suffer your own result, right? Nunez right now, to be the best teammate he can be, follows Hildegard down pit road. If he were to stay on track and aero block or block aggressively on slow tires to impede Kraus, that would guarantee Hildegard the win, but instead the teammates pull off together and Burrell with them. So all three fiercely forward cars here at the conclusion of lap 9.
So they've mathed that out. They think that this is the quickest way to go. We're going to watch the stops for Hildegard and Nunez. They will pit together right at the end of pit road. It is a very, very long jaunt down there, 45 miles an hour as you see it there. And we'll watch the launch. The cars go up. Black tires on for all three men. And back out we go.
The tires will be cold for the first 3/4 of a lap here. Not making a mistake, going off and picking up any sort of marbles or debris is going to be critical. Not letting the car over-rotate and go off track and ending your day. Basically conserve here, just stay in line, don't do anything rash, wait for your tires to come up to speed, up to temp so you can make max speed, and don't lose time to Phil Kraus, who's doing the same thing you are, putting down times on the black tire. So right now, you want to match Phil Kraus and hope that his red tires aren't as good as yours when he puts them on at the end of the race with a light tank and a bunch more push to pass.
There are 2 corners that I wanted to see. Turn 6, that was one of them. Going through the first time on cold blacks, it takes almost 2 laps for these tires to come in here. So I wanted to see that first. Turn 6, and I want to see the first kink from Christian Hildegard. Now
Van Kirk is right in front of them, and if they don't dispose of him quickly, he's going to really affect their lap times.
Yes,
Let's see what Hildegard does. I bet he'll dive to the inside here in Canada.
We're about to see it. Thomas Van Kirk to the outside, and he more or less pulls over and lets the two leaders go. Back up front, we've got Phil Kraus, and he has a mirror full of Nathan Moore.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say Moore is conserving fuel here. It looked like he lifted on the straightaway to stay directly in Kraus's wake. If you aggressively save in a slower or more efficient... Oh, Kraus almost just lost it. What a save again.
Can you get
Kraus
on the...
is definitely dancing on the Razor's Edge tonight.
Can you give a call down to Phil Kraus and let him know that is not a sprint car and we are not at Eldora?
Yeah, he's put Road America in Tokyo because he just went drifting.
Yeah, that's amazing car control. Again, from the community's one of the community's resident pros. Of course, we have several of those drivers in the field tonight. Jacob Oster was in that series, as was Kevin Burrell, Luis Nunez, Christian Hildegard. I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2. Those are the ones that come to mind. But several of the pro drivers have joined us, and that's always awesome to see those guys. I don't necessarily know that you see many of the NASCAR pros sign up for a weekly split on a Monday night, but ours do, and here they are, and they're putting on a heck of a race. Phil Kraus leads Nathan Moore as we come to begin lap number 12 of 23.
Well, I know our channel founder, Gary Godso, is a strong, firm proponent that the series regulars who did show up for these Monday night open splits and did put in good times, like Phil Kraus, made their way into the Pro Series because of it. Having the seat time, having the reps, having the experience behind the wheel of this IR18, let them go toe-to-toe with verified esports pros who get paid week in and week out to race simulation race cars when we're all more or less hobbyists.
Correct. I mean, you have a day job, Clindy. I have a day job. Phil does. Josh Chin. These guys are accountants and bankers and electricians. You know what I mean? These are guys that they go to a job every day. Adam Blocker is an engineer on an INDYCAR team, right? I mean, this is our hobby. It's not how we make a living, but it is always awesome to see the guys that are in the community and running around every day. I ran a couple of the pro qualifiers, and in one of our qualifying races, I got into a bit of a tango with the guy who won the Pro Series, Pinto. He and I had a bit of a coming together at Gateway off of turn 2 in a dispute over real estate.
I got put out of the way by a Pro Series competitor at Gateway as well. I was running top 5 before Soda Muto netcoded into me and ended my chances at even attempting to qualify.
Yes, ours was not netcode. It was very much a dispute over who could control the exit of turn number 2, and I lost. But be that as it may, it is awesome to see Phil Kraus and Nathan Moore is going to dive for pit lane. There's 11 laps to go this time by. I don't know, Clindy, that might be a little bit early for the Reds.
Yeah, that'll be a very long stint on red tires for Nathan Moore. However, Kevin Burrell made good time on the Reds at the end of that stint. It's entirely possible that Moore either knows the pace he needs to set in the Reds or has done something tricky with his setup to make those Reds last longer.
Now, I do want to just kind of flip-flop back here and talk about Hildegard, Nunez, and Burrell. And the reason this is important is their Reds are now kind of up to temperature. The issue for these guys, guys is they're in traffic. That last time by for Christian Hildegard, minute 44.695, that was almost a full second slower than the general Kevin Burrell. And so,
or if he just went 4 wide into turn 1, did you see Hildegard do that?
I did. I did, but he's almost a full second slower than Phil Kraus, is what I was getting
Well, that's
at.
because having to go 4 wide is not fast. It looks good on camera, but it's slow, brother.
More expert analysis from Clint Kyleworth there, Matty Sinclair. Expert analysis. But this is a snarl, and it's really held these guys up. And every lap that this goes on, it's a huge advantage for Phil as he continues to trundle around out there at the minute 43 mark. Not very.
It's not trundling. That is pretty quick.
but he's basically not varied off of his fast lap times.
Slow and steady wins the race. I've been a long. I beat the drum every time I can. You back the quarter up. You run consistent laps through an entire race. You win the race. That is, you do not win by having raw pace for 1 to 5 laps. In this car especially, something I've come to learn very recently is that if you abuse the tires with a full tank of fuel, they will give out on you so much faster than if you baby them for the first 3 to 5 laps of any run on any track with any setup. You'll see a lot of guys in the community, especially on ovals, think that they have all the downforce in the world and the most sophisticated oval car in the world, and they could put their foot to the floor, turn left, and be okay. And they are much slower than you in 5 laps, and that is why, because they do not lift. Lifting is faster.
Yes, in the long term, it most certainly is. Phil Kraus has started to play with his push to pass down to 121 seconds. He did set his personal best that last time by. Also, Adam Blocker, Seb Alexander, Alan Berteau, Logan Spath, Jacob Collins, Nick Sudik, all have taken to the pit lane here with 10 laps to go, and now it's just a matter of Phil, Jacob Oster, and Alex Van de Zandt, who are the 3 remaining machines on the speedway. There is quite a bit of distance between them. Phil has a 7-second lead over Jacob, and then about another second back to Alex Van de Zandt, who is all over the push to pass, trying to catch Jacob Oster. And there
He's just inside the draft window.
Yeah, there you see it from ADVS's from his roll hoop. He has started to reel in the i5G machine of Jacob Oster and started to very slowly catch him. Here they go up through the final corner. Jacob is going to hit pit lane, as is Alex. Phil is also on pit lane. We're going to cover the stop of the race leader, and let's see where he comes out in relationship to Luis Nunez, Kevin Burrell, and others. Adam Blocker is back out on the track, and he is latched right behind the cars of Hildegard and Nunez. Here's the other thing. Blocker is on the reds. Nathan Moore is on the reds. Kraus, Oster, Zandt, they're all going on the reds. The early leaders, they're on the blacks.
Yep, the race has flip-flopped. Now all of the drivers playing defense at the start of the race are now on offense. Blocker to the inside of Nunez down this long front straightaway. He'll have the preferred line into turn 1 as you see Van de Zandt and Oster off pit road now.
We're going to ride on board with Adam Blocker as he carves past Luis Nunez. The red tires are in their prime for Adam Blocker, and he is going to get while the getting is good. Adam Blocker puts it into 4th. He's got Christian Hildegard right in front of him, and we will stay with this. The Black Knight is 4th. He's hunting for 3rd and more. Literally
Oster
more.
went off on cold tires. He hit the rumble strips wrong and went through the gravel trap outside of turn 1. His day is over.
And there you see Jacob Oster sitting on the pit lane, and let's see if we can't get the pictures that will show us his incident. I guess that isn't going to happen. Tough break for Jacob Oster, though. Very competitive, and I know he has worked very hard on his road racing in order to be in the position to have good runs at these races. Adam Blocker all over the back of Christian Hildegard, your early leader. And you know, Clindy...
Oh, go ahead.
You know, Clindy, when the money comes up... when the money comes up and the flag is getting closer to flying, I don't know that there's a driver that is more difficult to keep behind you than the driver of that power slide number 3 machine of Adam Blocker. I don't know that there is. Tenacious would be the word I would use to describe that man.
let me put it this way. I'm pretty good on ovals. I have never passed Adam Blocker on an oval. Straight up. Period. Full stop. That's how good he is.
I think I did at Kansas once. One time. But he is very, very, very good. Phil Kraus, by the way, it is worth mentioning, he has retained the lead on his Reds. He's 4 seconds and a bit clear of second place runner Nathan Moore. Adam Blocker is going to be third. He leads the train of Hildegard Nunez, Kevin Burrell, Alex Van de Zandt. Now, Hildegard, Nunez, and Burrell are all vulnerable to Zandt, and Seb Alexander has creeped into 8th. He is not with this battle, but he's creeped into 8th. Those guys are all on the Reds. And so now that Blocker is clear, let's have a look at Alex and see if he can't charge through this pack of fiercely forward drivers. To the inside, he's going to get past the general. So move Kevin Burrell back to 7th, put Alex up to 6th. Van de Zandt also, Kyle, is sitting on a mountain of push to pass, 168 seconds. That's second most in the field, next to Jacob Collins, 187 seconds for Jacob.
That would lead me to believe that Edu Fernandez Morales did map the button and has used some then.
Yes, he's down to 131. So he was just keeping it. He was just keeping it in his back pocket there, Clindy.
Now, if I were the fiercely forward team, I would play defense as hard as possible on Van de Zandt here. If you keep him behind you, that's one less car you'll have to work through when your black tires swap to being faster than the Reds here at the end of the race. Van de Zandt's going to have a large mountain to climb to even catch Luis Nunez in front of him.
Well, and something else that is worth mentioning is as Phil continues to build his lead, he was 2 full seconds faster than the entire field that last time by. 141.976 for Phil Kraus, 143.914 for Nathan Moore, 143.686 for Adam Blocker.
So I'm telling you, man, light tank, red tires with push to pass. That's how you put down screamers, and you really separate yourself from the field. The draft is very powerful here. If you can put yourself on an island where someone does not have your toe, they won't be able to back up a corner and use a slow corner and a fast straightaway to make good lap time. They'll have to be fast on both.
Well, and something that I was going to say too is this is an open setup series, and so we've touched on the Fiercely Forward team, the Power Slide Hyper Slide Alliance, the Power Slide Private Label Team Hype Alliance that includes Kraus, Blocker, Van de Zandt. We've got Indy Alliance Racing represented in this series. This series is here comes Van de Zandt. He's looking on Nunez. He'll have him going down into Canada corner here. Hildegard's going to swing to the left and try to give Nunez the draft. But Nunez is out of position, and Zandt's going to go right on through there and right on up into 5th. But what I was going to say about that is this is an open setup series as we continue to watch Alex carve through the Fiercely Forward machines. And you do have completely open setups on these cars. So everything about the IR18 in this series can be tuned. This track is one that does allow for 2 separate setup philosophies. There is a high downforce package here that is competitive. There is a low downforce competitive package here that is competitive. And so some of these drivers may be on one or the other. Some teams may have split their strategy. And then there's also a way to set these cars up for reds or set them up for blacks. And so you never quite know what each of the guys is on in terms of setup and what their philosophies are. They don't tell us, of course. But Clindy, you
could look at the lap times and the way they were driving, and I could guarantee you that Hildegard and Nunez are on the same setup.
Oh, for sure. And Kevin, Kevin is extremely handy with road course stuff. And so, it just depends, and it depends on their team philosophy. Some guys like cars that run a little bit differently. Within our team, Jesper Orman and I like oval cars that are just very similar. Some of the other guys like them to drive a little bit different, and so they may have the same baseline, Clindy. They may have the same baseline per se, but they may not have exactly the same settings when it comes to down, exact clicks a wing, or I might change a spring or a shock versus one of my teammates just to get the car to feel like I want it to feel. Everybody likes it a little bit different.
it's even similar in fixed. You have your front and rear ARBs and your weight jacker you can modulate. I know that oftentimes I'll be running 6.1 -5 and Ryan Campbell will be running 1.6 plus 15. And we're putting down the same lap times. So different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely. Now here's a battle that's going to be a brewing. I think Phil Kraus has. I think Phil is gone. But if
Phil is, yeah, he's on his way to Minnesota.
but if you look off the roll hoop of Adam Blocker, that is Nathan Moore in front of him, and Adam is catching Nathan Moore pretty handily. He was a half a second up.
He wants some more.
He does want some more. He was a half a second a lap quicker that time by. Nathan Moore is falling into the clutches of the Dark Knight, Adam Blocker, who is on a flyer. Now, here's something to keep in mind, and it may sound like a small difference. Adam Blocker's reds are 1 lap newer than the red sidewalled Firestones on the number 1 machine of Nathan Moore, and that's going to
world of difference.
Yeah, that's going to play a huge difference here at the end. Huge.
It's 4 whole miles under load.
Absolutely, and when you're talking about tires that may only be good for 6 laps to begin with, Nathan Moore has hit that cliff. Adam Blocker's got another lap before he does.
And Christian Hildgaard loves that. He's the biggest Adam Blocker fan in the world right now. He's like, Adam, go catch Nathan, race side by side, mess up 2 corners, and I will be there on tires that will be superior to yours at the end of the race.
Well, let's look out the gearbox of Adam Blocker, because as we do that, that's where we see Christian Hildgaard, Alex Van de Zandt, Luis Nunez, Kevin Burrell. They are all in one big old conga line back there. There you see him. There's Hildgaard. He's got Van de Zandt right behind him, and then Luis Nunez and Kevin Burrell. Those 3 cars are all within a couple of seconds of one another, which when you consider this is a minute 45 lap more or less, that's pretty doggone close.
Van de Zandt especially close. Like, he's in the draft window. He's in a position where he could use push to pass and make a move on a straightaway on Hildgaard.
Well,
I don't think his reds are going to last long enough, but he's sure as heck going to try.
Let's talk about the push-to-pass situation, because Zandt is on it. But Alex Van de Zandt, 105 seconds right now. Christian Hildgaard is down to 15. So Hildgaard is essentially going to become defenseless here within the next lap or 2 if he doesn't start to husband his resources. And by that time, it might be too late. Van de Zandt's going to get several lunges down into Canada corner. I would suspect he is going to be all over that button the minute he comes out of the carousel, and he's going to carry that all the way down to Canada. Other guys that have quite a bit left, you've got Rachel Conkley, and let's put her up. We have not talked about Rachel. There she is in the 18 machine. Good looking car. Has 102 seconds. Edu Fernandez Morales, he has 101 seconds. Those are the only cars that are amongst the top 20. Well, Victor Aud, we haven't talked about Victor all day. He's about minute 15 behind, so 2/3 of a lap. He's got 100 seconds. Caleb Brashear is on the button to go to 100 seconds, and he's trailed by Matt Taylor. Those are that's 21st and 22nd. That's 21st and 22nd out there. They're only about 5 seconds up the road from Phil, though. And would that play into it? We'll go back to the leader, Phil Kraus. Would that play
Phil's
into it?
got an 11-second lead. He can do whatever he wants. This is lap traffic. Second place won't catch him.
So what you're saying is he could pull over down there at the bottom of Hurry Downs, get out and have him a brat and a cold one, and still be leading this thing when they come back around to get it.
Absolutely. If pit road didn't have a speed limit, he could stop and put on new tires and still be in the lead.
We're going to go back to watching Zandt because in this battle because Phil Kraus has checked out. But this is the hottest battle on the racetrack. Adam Blocker has caught Nathan Moore.
Yep, it's going to be a 4-car tussle here to figure out the bottom 2 steps of the podium.
Well, and make that 6. I mean, never count out Luis Nunez and Kevin Burrell. They are on the black tires, and the crossover has started to happen. Nunez and Burrell were both faster than Blocker, Hildgaard, and Zandt that last time by. Certainly.
Honestly, I think this is going to come down to how clean and how fast Nathan Moore can be. If he can set mistake-free single file Q laps here, Blocker can follow and use the slipstream to keep Hildegard behind him. But Hildegard is knocking on that door saying, let me in, brother. I want that silver medal, and I got to go through you first to get there.
Absolutely.
He doesn't need any push to pass. He's all offense all the time. He doesn't need to play any defense.
Well, and speaking of that push to pass, they're all about out of it. Nathan Moore's got 10 seconds left. Blocker 15, Hildegard 15. Alex Van de Zandt is a little bit further back, 1.3 seconds. He's got 60 seconds left in the bank. He can pretty much use it when he wants it. But everybody else is down to their last little bit.
Hildegard was 0.7 of a second faster than Blocker and Moore.
Yeah, he's going to run out of time, though. Poor Hildegard, he's
got 2 laps to dispose of them. Second place is on the table. You're not going to win, but second is awesome.
There's a lunge from Adam Blocker. He doesn't quite get there, and that might open the door for Christian Hildegard to move into third here, going back up the hill.
Blocker locks up.
They are leaving.
He's driving that for all it's worth.
Van de Zandt off in the background. You see it there. He's going to drop a position to the general Kevin Burrell, so move Burrell to 5th. Zandt to 6th. He'll slot back in front of Nunez. Meanwhile, Christian Hildegard has finally got alongside Adam Blocker, but he's on the wrong side of the road, Clindy.
Blocker's going to push up. Hildegard's going to cross over on exit. Blocker blocks. Hildegard tries to send him with his nose into the kink. Let's see if they continue to play nice or it gets dirtier.
I think they're gonna play as nice as they can. Hildegard on the push to pass, Blocker on the push to pass. They're gonna go even Steven into Canada corner. Not clear, Christian.
Wheel to wheel, this is as good as it gets through Canada corner at Road America. Thank you, the state of Wisconsin.
What a beautiful corner from both of them. That is as good as you're going to see. Wheel banging down into Canada corner. Both guys keep it straight. We're coming to get the white flag. 1 lap to go. The battle is on for the final step of the podium, This has allowed Nathan Moore to sneak away, but the battle is for third. And look at Kevin Burrell. He is sneaking into this picture.
Walker had the optimal line, but he was pinched down. He's going to have no speed on exit. Burrell's going to look to pounce coming into 3. Oh, they touch. Burrell loses his wing. Blocker loses his rear wing. Blocker is off. His day is over.
He does keep it straight. He does keep it on the road. He does have a massive advantage over Seb Alexander. It's 20 seconds back to 8th. So let's see if Seb can catch him. The good thing about Road America is it's not a lot of slow speed corners. Meanwhile, let's go back to this battle. It's gonna quiet down significantly. The question is going to be, can Christian Hildegard reel in the 1.5 seconds now to Nathan Moore and run second here?
Simply not enough track. 2 miles here, just about 1 track or 1 lap anywhere else. You're not going to make up a whole second and a half in just half a lap.
Well, here's where it's going to tell is in the carousel. This is where the Reds are really going to hurt Nathan Moore. He dropped 0.3 of a second through that 1 corner, and that's going to hurt him all the way down to Canada. If this trend continues, Hildegard just could get there by the time they get back to the line.
Speaking of the line, Phil Kraus is on a Sunday drive coming to the checkered flag to see the finish line.
And there he goes. He just did catch the lap traffic of Matt Taylor. Caleb Brashear is a lap down, but there's Phil Kraus. He is going to come home your winner, and we will flip back to the battle for second. Nathan Moore is going to come off at turn number 14. He's going to climb up the hill, and Nathan Moore is going to run second. Christian Hildegard is third. Kevin Burrell 4th. Luis Nunez 5th. Alex Van de Zandt is going to come home 6th. And let's see, can Adam Blocker make it back around in front of Seb? He's going to do so handsomely. So Adam Blocker with a broken rear wing will come home 7th. Seb Alexander, not quite enough to get there. He will be 8th. Logan Edwards is 9th. And Alan Berteau is going to be 10th.
I think Alan got snookered by Rachel Concoy right there at the line. I think Rachel stole the top 10 spot from Brito in a photo finish, a dead heat there.
How about that? Let's go back and see if we can't catch that. It looked like Brito just thought he was going to coast at home, or was he out of fuel, Clindy?
No idea.
Let's see. We're going to go on board with Alan Berteau. No. She just beat him up the hill. Still others making their way toward the finish line. Jacob Collins, the plain white wrapper, he's going to come home 15th. Everybody has now crossed the line.
Nick Sudik was your big mover on the day. He put himself up 6 spots on the grid. Starting last. Maybe not the best day for him, but, you know, you get one little accolade. You passed the most cards today, Nick.
Absolutely. So let's go to the final results. Philip Kraus is your winner. Nathan Moore, 12.9 seconds behind in second. Christian Hildegard will round out your podium. Kevin Burrell and Luis Nunez make up the remainder of your top 5. What a debut from that fiercely Ford team. 6th, Alex Van de Zandt. 7th, Adam Blocker. 8th, Seb Alexander. 9th, Logan Edwards. And Rachel Conkley. How about that? She's going to come home 10th. In 11th, Alan Berteau. 12th, AJ Musselman. Logan Spath is 13th. Blaze Aldrich, 14th. Jacob Collins is 15th. Edu Fernandez Morales, 16th. Nick Sudik, 17th. Luke Carbonneau is 18th. Thomas Van Kirk, 19th. Victor Aud brings it home 20th. In 21st is going to be Matt Taylor. Caleb Brashear, 1 lap down in 22nd. And unfortunately, Jacob Oster, the War Man, he will come home shotgun on the field and 23rd out of the race after a spin. What a fun race that was, Clindy.
Yeah, we had strategy matter. We had all raw pace matter. We had a bunch of amazing saves and picturesque weather, minus, you know, a couple windy sections, perhaps.
Absolutely, we're gonna get some replay queued up here.
We've got Christian in the waiting room. I can pull him up whenever you're ready.
Yep, give me just a second there, Clindy. New overlay, new tools. So it's going to take me just a quick second to get everything squared away here, and I appreciate everybody's patience. All right, let's go ahead and bring up Christian Hildegard. What do you say?
Here he comes.
Christian, Mark Murphy, Kyle Clinworth in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming out. It's always good to see you in one of these. You started on the pole, started on the reds, led until the first pit stop, came home third. Tell us about your day.
Well, first of all, any race where you're starting on the pole and not finishing in P1 is not a race you're too happy with. And I mean, you mentioned starting on the reds. Definitely the wrong strategy call in hindsight. It's one of those where we took it last split second because I had myself and my teammate Luis in third place. So we're like, maybe we can just pull away here, knowing that if we do go for this strategy, we're going to be giving up some time in the pits and we risk getting into traffic. And that's exactly what happened. That put us behind Adam Blocker. It put us behind Nate A. Moore. So honestly, just a poor strategy call from us. And that's why we end up in third. I'm not sure we could have necessarily taken it to Phil, but it would have been a lot closer, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Clindy, do you have anything for our bottom step of the podium today?
Yeah, Christian, we tuned in after pit stops. You were working your way through lap traffic, and people were exiting pit road. At one point, you were 4 wide going into turn 1. What do you do to steal the nerves and bring that car home and keep the wheel pointed straight?
I think I closed my eyes and prayed, to be honest. I sent it 3 wide, and then, when I was committed to it, I saw Nathan coming out of the pits, and I was just like, okay, well, here goes nothing. I guess we'll see what happens. And it luckily paid off. I hope it looked really good on the TV cams. It was terrifying in the cockpit.
Well, the producer managed to miss it. Clindy called it, but it was a heck of a move, man. And finishing third in one of these, it was a 4,500 SOF. That's no slouch. You got a great debut for your new team. You, Kevin, Louise, all ran really, really well. So nothing to be ashamed of. You guys did really well. Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you'd like to call out today? The floor is yours, Christian.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, big shout out to Ali Hunt, who the manager of Fiercely Forward, who's taken the chance on this IndyCar team. I think it has a lot of promise, and we didn't quite deliver on that today, but I'm sure we'll get there. Also, big shout out to P1 Docs for sponsoring, and of course to my teammates at Fiercely Forward, being Kevin and Luis, of course, who were in the race with me here, but also Sam Karasala and Hamilton Akabuisi.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much for dropping by, Christian, and keep coming back, man. It was awesome to watch you guys.
Absolutely, will do.
We look forward to seeing you next week. You hear?
Yeah, likewise.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for the broadcast.
Absolutely. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. That is Christian Hildegard, third on the day here at Road America. Do we have Nathan Moore down there, Clindy?
We do. I'll pull him up if you're ready.
Let's go ahead and talk to Nathan. Nathan Moore, Mark Murphy, Kyle Clinworth in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can absolutely hear you, buddy. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming. What a wonderful, wonderful show you guys put on today. Started second, you finished there. You had some ups and downs throughout the event. I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked. The same question I asked Christian. You started blacks, finished reds, but you tried to undercut Phil. What was your tire strategy there, going through the race?
Yeah, I was in two minds before the race started. I was quite surprised that I was able to qualify so high up. So I was tempted to go reds, but I opted for the primaries to begin with, and then yeah, I was just trying to keep up with all of these guys. It's very tough, and yeah, I figured I would go a lap or two earlier than Phil, but yeah, unfortunately, I came out right in the thick of the traffic. I think it was maybe two drivers that hadn't pit, and then of course Luis and Christian. So lost a lot of time there, but ultimately I didn't have the pace on the reds. Phil was just in a class of his own once the pit stops were done. So yeah, I'm delighted to finish second. To be honest, I was struggling to hold on towards the end, and luckily the guys behind were fighting, and I was able to hold on.
Absolutely, Clindy. What do you have for Nathan this evening?
Yeah, there were a couple of straightaways I saw you, Nathan, right behind Phil, maybe lifting and saving a little fuel. You didn't extend your stint any further than any of the other drivers. Was that just to have a shorter fill at the end, or maybe you thought that you would be just slower if you tried to make a move on Mr. Kraus? Walk me through your thought process there.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to save too much. I think at that phase of the race, edging towards the first the only stop. I know that Phil is faster than me, so I didn't want to battle too much because we'd end up costing each other time, and then further down the line after the pit stops, it might we may lose a lot of time and stuff with traffic. So yeah, like I recognized he was faster. He passed, and then after that, I was just trying to keep up. Honestly, saved a little bit of fuel here and there. I think I went maybe a lap or maybe two early just to try and get an undercut. But yeah, ultimately, unfortunately, it didn't work. But yeah, started second, finished second. Didn't quite have the pace on the reds, as I said. So it was, yeah, I'll definitely take that going into next week.
Yeah, you put on a heck of a show, and you went wheel to wheel with some of the best on the service, so nothing to be disappointed about. Very good day for yourself. Do you have any friends, family, sponsors that you'd like to shout out while you have the mic? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank yourselves for putting on the stream. It's always nice to race in this car, and also thanks to my team at WSR Esports. So yeah, it's a very fun evening, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, Nathan. Well, we look forward to seeing you back. We look forward to seeing you back next week. Keep going fast and having fun, my friend. So that is Nathan Moore, second place on the day. I do not believe we have Phil in the waiting room, do we, Kyle?
No, we do not. We don't have the funds to pay for his media appearance.
Indeed, we are poor guys. So we would like to congratulate everybody at P1. Would like to congratulate Phil Kraus on his win this evening. Clindy, what final thoughts do you have from what we saw tonight here at Road America?
Road America is the best road course for the IndyCar, bar none. Hands down, full stop, period. You can do strategy, you can run different setups, you can pass in 4 different parts of the track. It's so amazing to see races here. I'm So happy that we get to race it as often as we do on the service. In fact, in 5 minutes, if you want to go do fix sprint, you can sign up for that right now. But on P1 Broadcasting, we're not done for tonight. You can tune into the ISRA stream here starting at 9:30 Eastern. Mark and I will both be on the track going wheel to wheel. Hopefully we can put on a show that holds a candle to this one.
Absolutely. And speaking of shows that hold a candle to this one, next week, Michigan, probably my favorite oval in the service in this car. I know everybody automatically thinks Indianapolis, but Michigan is, for this car, one of the absolute best in the service. From there, we're going to go to Spa, and we're going to run the Grand Prix course. So another fast blast through the forest. The remainder of the schedule, Kansas, on the oval there. Then we go to Lime Rock, and that's going to be interesting, Clindy. Tight old school road course circuit in Connecticut. After that, Mid-Ohio. And then the short oval at Gateway is going to round out the month of January. Beginning in February, we'll have Watkins Glen, then Circuit of the Americas, Iowa Speedway, always a fun oval, and I know one of our favorites, Sebring on the international course. And we're going to end this deal the first week of March in Pocono for the series finale. So there's going to be the broadcast coming up for you. We'll be here every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Do want to thank everybody that makes this possible. Do want to thank the viewers out there. Not only the drivers that made it possible, but everybody that logged in to view the stream. There were a lot of you. I want to thank everybody out there who did smash the like button and ring the bell. Again, we are doing this. We are doing this gratis. There is a GoFundMe in the link description below. These races do take time and money to produce, and so if you feel like supporting the stream, absolutely hit that up. Otherwise, Clindy and I have a race to go get ready for, and I don't know, Clindy. I haven't decided whether it's going to be red shell or banana peel for you tonight.
Hey, man, you're going to need that blue shell. I'll be up front all day long.
Very, very, very awesome. Well, I do look forward to seeing everybody back here next week for Michigan. Again, Mark Murphy for Kyle Clinworth and everybody at P1 Broadcasting, thank you so much for tuning in. We do want to thank our first responders, military, police, fire, EMS, all the people that do the hard work at night so that we can sleep safe in our own beds. And until next week, have a great night, everybody.